Respect. You know when it's present and when it's not. When people interrupt you, mock you, dismiss your worth. You feel it. And yet, Stoicism teaches us something radical. You do not need their respect to be whole. What you need is self-respect, the kind that is unmoved by others' immaturity, the kind that is anchored, deliberate, and unshakable. Here are 8 ways to handle people who don't respect you. The Stoic way. 1. Don't argue for your worth. Marcus Aurelius once warned, "Never esteem anything as of advantage to you that will make you break your word or lose your self-respect." And this includes the need to convince others of your worth. You see, true value is not declared. It's not performed. It doesn't argue, beg, or shout for validation. It simply is. When someone disrespects you by ignoring you, belittling you, or pretending you don't matter, the first instinct may be to speak up, to push back, to make them see your worth. But Stoicism urges you to pause, because often arguing for your value doesn't uplift you. It drags you into a place you don't belong, a battlefield of insecurity and ego. When you try to force respect from someone unwilling to give it, you end up participating in your own devaluation. You end up handing them power they didn't earn. Why explain your brilliance to someone committed to pretending you don't shine? Why fight for a seat at a table when you could be building your own? People who overlook you are not always blind. Some just can't handle your light, and that's not your burden to fix. Let them talk. Let them ignore. Let them dismiss, while you stay rooted in calm purpose. Your actions will echo louder than their dismissal. Your results will become the argument you never had to make. And in time, the same people who doubted your worth may try to claim it. But by then, you'll no longer be seeking their approval because you've outgrown the need to prove anything at all. That's the Stoic way. Unbothered, unshaken, unapologetically whole. 2. Enforce boundaries without emotion. Stoicism doesn't ask you to tolerate everything. It asks you to rise above things without losing yourself. When someone disrespects you repeatedly, it's not always hostility. It's often a test of your tolerance, your silence, your thresholds. And the truth is, people don't learn what your limits are by reading your mind. They learn by observing your standards. Epictetus taught, don't explain your philosophy, embody it. That's what boundaries are, embodied philosophy. You don't need to scream. You don't need to explain. You don't even need to defend. You simply act. You draw a clear line in the sand, and when it's crossed, you respond not with rage, but with consequence. Because boundaries are not about punishment. They're about preservation. They protect your time, your peace, your identity. When someone mocks you publicly and you let it slide, what you allow becomes the rule. When someone ignores your voice and you stay quiet, you teach them to stop listening. But when you calmly say, "That doesn't work for me," and follow through, you shift the power dynamic. Not by being loud, but by being immovable. Remember, Stoics are not emotionless. They are intentional. They choose when and where to give their energy, and they don't waste it on those who feed on reaction. So the next time someone crosses a line, don't explode, don't plead, just respond with calm clarity. And if they still don't change, then remove yourself. Because the person who repeatedly disrespects your boundary is not confused. They're simply testing whether your line is real. Make it real. Make it firm. And do so not with noise, but with calm, decisive strength. That's how a Stoic enforces their worth. Not by reacting, but by reinforcing.
3. Never take disrespect personally. It's easy to feel insulted, easy to take things personally, but Stoicism reminds us of a crucial truth. What they say is about them. How you react is about you. Seneca wrote, "A wise man is indifferent to insults, for they touch only those who feel them." Disrespect often has very little to do with you and everything to do with what someone is projecting. Some people see confidence, and it threatens their insecurity. Some see your peace, and it disturbs the chaos they carry. So they lash out. They mock. They minimize. But here's the thing. You don't have to receive what they throw. You don't have to pick up the stone someone places at your feet and carry it in your heart. When someone disrespects you, you are presented with a choice, not a command. You can absorb it, internalize it, start questioning your worth. Or you can do what the Stoics did. Pause, observe, release. They taught that offense is taken, not given. That an insult only injures you if you choose to let it in. And most of the time, it's not even about you. It's their frustration, their envy, their pain looking for a target. Don't become that target by reacting. Remember, if someone throws fire and you refuse to burn, they're left only with smoke. When you remain grounded, when you don't flinch, explain, or strike back, you communicate a silent, powerful message. I do not belong to your chaos. I will not carry your bitterness. That is the ultimate strength, not in winning the argument, but in being so whole, so centered, so deeply rooted in self-respect that you no longer need to defend your worth. Because when your soul is calm, even the loudest disrespect becomes irrelevant noise. At 4, reduce access, not kindness. Modern Stoicism teaches us something subtle but powerful. You don't have to become cruel just because someone else is unkind, but you also don't have to stay available to them. When someone consistently disrespects you, the Stoic doesn't seek revenge. They don't scream or retaliate. They simply restrict access. Epictetus reminds us, the key is to keep company only with people who uplift you, whose presence calls forth your best. That doesn't mean you hate those who hurt you. It means you stop inviting them in. You stop giving front row seats to people who only come to throw stones. It is possible to remain kind and still create distance. It is possible to wish someone well and still say, you no longer have access to my time, my thoughts, my presence. This isn't about punishment, it's about peace. Because every time you allow disrespect to linger in your life, you are teaching yourself that your peace is negotiable, that your time is available to those who abuse it, that your kindness must come with self-betrayal. But Stoicism teaches a different way. You don't close your heart, you just close the door. Not out of anger, not to get even, but because you value your energy. You value your stillness, and you understand that protecting your inner world is not selfish, it's essential. Let them wonder why your presence disappeared. Let them talk. Let them twist the story. But you don't engage. You don't defend. You don't return to noise you've already outgrown. Because your greatest power is not in your ability to clap back. It's in your ability to walk away, silently, peacefully, and never look back. That is what reducing access, without losing kindness, looks like. And in a loud, reactive world, that silence becomes your strength. At 5, show respect to yourself first. You teach people how to treat you by how you treat yourself. If you constantly betray your own needs, your time, your voice, why would others take them seriously? The Stoics understood that all outward respect begins with inner discipline. Self-respect is not just a feeling, it's a practice. It's in the way you talk to yourself when no one's listening, in the way you care for your body when no one's watching, in the boundaries you protect even when it would be easier just to let them go. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Your soul takes on the color of your thoughts." If you constantly think of yourself as small, as unworthy, as forgettable, then others will too. Not because it's true, but because you've silently told the world, "This is how I expect to be treated." But when you respect yourself, even in private, you stop needing applause. You stop tolerating mistreatment because you've already filled the space that others were misusing with your own worth. You eat better. You speak slower. You say no without guilt. You no longer overextend just to be liked, because you finally like yourself. That's not arrogance. That's alignment. Self-respect isn't built in one bold moment. It's built in small, quiet decisions that no one ever sees. But over time, it creates a presence, a gravity. People feel it, even if they can't explain it. They start to realize you cannot speak to this person any kind of way. You cannot treat them carelessly. Why? Because your life already reflects how seriously you take yourself. And if someone still chooses to disrespect that, it doesn't shake you. You just remind yourself, I live by standards, not by approval. And you move forward, without anger, without noise, with quiet dignity. Because in the eyes of a Stoic, the deepest form of power is to respect yourself so fully that no one else's disrespect can reach you.
6. Master the art of indifference. There is a kind of power that doesn't come from reacting. It comes from not needing to, from mastering the quiet, subtle art of indifference. In a world addicted to attention, where every insult must be answered, every opinion must be defended, indifference is rebellion. Marcus Aurelius said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." To be indifferent does not mean you are numb. It means you've outgrown the need to be disturbed. When someone disrespects you, they want a piece of your energy. They want your focus, your reaction, your attention. They want to pull you off center because they have no center of their own. But when you remain still, when you carry on without flinching, you become untouchable. You teach the world that your peace is not a door anyone can just walk through. It's a fortress guarded by discernment. Indifference doesn't mean you don't notice. It means you notice and choose not to engage. You weigh their words against your values and you realize they don't qualify. So you don't correct them. You don't beg to be seen. You don't try to make them understand. Because what does a clear mind owe to a chaotic one? Nothing. The Stoics believed that a person's true strength is revealed by what they refuse to be pulled into, by what they let go of without needing revenge, without needing validation. So the next time someone disrespects you, ask yourself, is their opinion worth your peace? Is their approval worth your character? And if the answer is no, then let them talk. Let them sneer. Let them try to provoke. You walk away with calm.
You work in silence. You thrive without them. And you let your life whisper what your words never need to scream. That is the art of indifference. Not coldness, but quiet, immovable self-possession. 7. Focus on living well, not being liked. Respect and approval are not the same. Many are willing to trade their values just to be liked. But a Stoic knows better. Seneca wrote, "Be your own spectator, seek your own applause." Because the moment you start living for the crowd, you give the crowd permission to define you. And that's where disrespect finds its roots, in your hunger to be accepted. If someone senses that your peace depends on their opinion, they will test that dependency. They'll withhold approval just to see you bend. So the Stoic chooses differently. He lives well, with intention, with principle, not to impress others, but because it is who he is. You don't have to be popular to be powerful. You don't need 1,000 hands clapping when your own hands are building something real. And yes, some people won't like that. They'll call you arrogant, cold, self-righteous. But they are simply mistaking your self-possession for ego, because they've never seen what true alignment looks like. Living well is not always loud. It often means walking alone, choosing honesty when others lie, choosing restraint when others gossip, choosing growth when others stay stuck. And the reward? You become someone who no longer needs to demand respect because your life itself commands it. So let others chase attention. Let them fight to fit in. You focus on living well, on waking up proud of who you are, on going to sleep knowing you stayed true. Because that quiet confidence, that peaceful clarity, that unshakable identity, that is what people will remember. And those who once disrespected you, they'll either evolve or disappear. But either way, you remain unmoved, focused not on being liked, but on living right.
8. Leave if necessary, with peace. Sometimes the greatest act of strength is knowing when to walk away. Stoicism teaches us to endure hardship and to engage life fully. But it also teaches us the wisdom of choosing our battles and knowing when a battle is lost before it even begins. Not every fight for respect is worth fighting. Not every disrespect deserves your time. Epictetus said, "You are not a tree. If you don't like where you are, move." That freedom, the freedom to leave, is part of your power. To leave is not to surrender. It is not weakness. It is an act of self-preservation. When you've done all you can, when you've been clear, calm, and consistent, and disrespect still persists, then the Stoic knows the dignity of departure. You don't leave with anger. You don't leave burning bridges. You leave with peace, because you respect yourself enough to refuse toxicity, because you value your time more than a closed door, because you understand that sometimes growth means letting go. Walking away is an assertion. It says, I choose peace over conflict. I choose clarity over chaos. I choose myself. And in that moment, when you step away quietly, confidently, you reclaim your power. You send a message louder than any argument ever could. I will not be disrespected. I will not stay where I'm not valued. And the space you leave behind, it opens for something better, for people who respect you, not because you demand it, but because you have taught them through your own example. So don't fear leaving. Fear staying in places that dim your light. Fear giving your energy to those who don't deserve it. Be brave enough to walk away with peace in your heart and strength in your step. Because that is the highest form of respect. Respect for yourself. People may never respect you, but the deeper question is, do you respect yourself enough to stop needing their approval? Remember, don't argue for your worth. Enforce your boundaries quietly. Master indifference. Choose peace over reaction. The Stoics didn't just teach philosophy, they lived it, silently, proudly, and on their own terms. Be like them. Stand tall, stay calm, stay grounded, and let your self-respect speak louder than any insult ever could. If this resonated with you, subscribe and share this with someone who needs to be reminded of their worth. Let us know in the comments, which of these 8 Stoic responses will you apply today?